Not a happy ever after all. A fitting end. Alright.
Excellent news dropped for DC and Superman fans earlier this week when Henry Cavill addressed fans in a social media video that went viral announcing his return to Superman after his cameo in Black Adam. It was huge news. It happened earlier this week on Monday. Fans lost their minds. They were super excited. This is something they've been pushing for 5 years. It was wonderful news to behold. Well, what happened was that we got this other news that Cavill was working with people who openly and actively mocked sourced material for The Witcher. And this is based off of a Q&A for X-Men 97 head writer Beau DeMaio. He is literally recalling his experience. And when we get into the article, we see that per this transcript, the already lost to the ether Q&A provided by the Direct, showrunner spoke to this specific issue after being asked by a fan if he could discuss how the production team came about, like how they were recruited for X-Men 97. For sure, he recalled, in fall of 2020, Marvel's head of streaming asked me to develop a take to revive this show. From there, I pitched it out and was hired. My LP was the first hire, and he brought along all the amazing talent that followed. However, DeMaio then revealed that he had one specific requirement for anyone who wanted to join the team. My general rule was you had to be a fan. No questions. This, he continued, was born out of his experiences on show, namely The Witcher, where some of the writers were not or actively disliked the books and games, even actively mocking the source material. So here is a man who is getting ready to revive a beloved show, X-Men 97, and there's already been plenty of discussion around that. He has made it a requirement that you have to be a fan, because he gets it. It's a recipe for disaster and bad morale, he adamantly declared. Fandom as a litmus test checks egos. Yes, we do. Amazon, Rings of Prime. And makes all the long nights worth it. You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy. Absolutely. Fans check egos. Fans check the lies, the BS. We sniff that out and we reject it fully. Look at what happened with Wheel of Time. Look what happened with Rings of Prime. Look what happened with Dark Fate. Look what happened with the Ghostbusters 2016. All of these things that crapped on the lore, that disrespected it, that utterly obliterated it, that annihilated it. In fact, the only thing that the Netflix adaptation of The Witcher had going for it was Cavill's portrayal of Geralt. Now, I didn't think it was perfect, but I thought it was pretty spot on for the most part. His stoicism was very much appreciated. But there's so many layers to Geralt, and if you've ever played the games, especially Witcher 3, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've read the books, you definitely know what I'm talking about. There is so much that we haven't even gotten into, and yet we got rushed into this girl power story with Yennefer, and Yennefer taking the lead, and Yennefer being this all-powerful, amazing, has to be told by everyone how absolutely incredible she is, and it became so un-Witcher-like that many people were very concerned, and Cavill had to make comments about it, saying that, you know, he's excited, he's a huge Witcher fan, apparently, he's a fan of the franchise, he was reading the books, he's played the games, and that essentially he is just a caravan along for the ride of the train. And when you have the showrunner come out and say that Cavill is the one who made suggestions, and Cavill is the one who basically wrote, directed, and starred in the scene where Roach dies in season 2, and it was tragic, but also one of the best scenes, in fact, probably the best scene out of both seasons. We have a serious problem, because you have an experienced director who has admitted she doesn't know what she is doing, and no matter how congenial she may appear on social media, and that she wants to have these discussions with fans, and that fans have these concerns, and she tries to downplay them or put them to the side, we now have confirmation that the writers of this show actively mock the source material, then get off of the source material. Fans don't want you there, you don't want to be there, then just leave. Just leave. Because we can tell, trust me, we can tell when you are not at all respecting what is there. Because we know the source material. We're the ones who gave it that value. Now, I am not saying that we were the geniuses that wrote any of the source material. That isn't what I'm saying. I am saying that throughout history, millions, if not billions of stories have been told, but they have been forgotten. The ones that have survived are the ones that struck a chord with people, with fans. We, the audience, are what gave these IPs their value. And it's time we start remembering that. I'm not saying that we go in there all half-cocked and egotistical and be like, I am the fan, I gave this IP the value that it has, and therefore you must listen to me. No, that also needs an ego to be checked. But we need to realize that not everybody is entitled to our money. Not everybody is entitled to our view. Not everybody is entitled to us being a fan of what they present. And they can lie, and they can gaslight, and they can call us every name in the book. But the truth is, they did not produce a product that was worthy. It is that simple. And they know it, and they are hiding from that truth. Because it is far, far easier to blame everybody else than to simply accept responsibility and work on self-improvement. It is just a simple fact of life. Most people would rather wrap themselves in the warm embrace of denial than the uncomfortable truth of growth and experience to make themselves improve in whatever area it is they are struggling. It is literally that simple. This is what we're staring at. This is where we have writers who want nothing to do with the IP that they have been given. IPs that other people would have killed to be on. IPs that other people would have loved to get the experience for, would have done these characters justice the way that they deserved. But instead, we get spit in the face as fans, and apparently Cavill gets spit in the face on as well because he's done. He is leaving The Witcher. Liam Hemsworth will now take over as the White Wolf. I'm sorry, Liam Hemsworth, I've got nothing against the guy. I think he's okay. He's definitely up and coming. He's not his older brother, and maybe that's part of why he's doing this. He wants to prove he can step out of that shadow, if you want to call it that. But quite frankly, Liam Hemsworth is not Henry Cavill. What I've seen of Liam Hemsworth is not Geralt of Rivia. It's not the same stoicism. It's not the same presence on screen. It just doesn't happen. I'm not saying that the guy can't act. I'm saying that he simply isn't The Witcher. There's no two ways about it. And for Cavill to announce this shortly after announcing he's picked up the cape, DC got a big W and Netflix just took a giant L. That is the truth of the matter. And he was very tactful and respectful in the way that he did this, as he has been with everything. As far as I know, this man has never had a meltdown, an outburst, a vitriolic attack. He has been very respectful when he discusses any project he's working on, and he has been able to do that again here as well. My journey as Geralt of Rivia has been filled with both monsters and adventures, and alas, I will be laying down my medallion and my swords for Season 4, Cavill said in a statement. In my stead, the fantastic Mr. Liam Hemsworth will be taking up the mantle of the White Wolf. Oh, as with the greatest of literary characters, I pass the torch with reverence for the time spent embodying Geralt and enthusiasm to see Liam's take on this most fascinating and nuanced of men. I don't think I have ever seen a more tactful turnover of a character ever. And I really do hope that Liam is able to do something with the character, but he is simply not Henry Cavill. And I have my doubts of his ability to play Geralt of Rivia, to embody him. Especially when you have writers who don't want to be there, who are actively attempting to undermine this story and what it is supposed to be and what it represents. Geralt's whole character is literally to bear the weight of being this cursed thing, this thing that people don't understand and they fear, but they will come running if they need it. And so he is often a weapon of convenience for a lot of people, or desperation rather. And for that to be able to be reflected accurately, you're going to need someone who genuinely understands this character. I hope Liam does, but I have my doubts. And that is all I will say about that. But I do know that whatever happens, Netflix has lost out big time on this, and DC got a win. This has been an incredible decision by DC Studios. The fact that they were able to capture him, to bring him back. And I don't know what his movies are going to be. I don't know where they're going to pick him up from. But whatever they do with him, the fact that he has stated that he has optimism and hope for his reprisal as Superman, I think it's pretty safe to say, based on the professionalism that he has handled the entirety of the past 5 years with, I think we can take that as a very good sign, because he has many times sent out red flags to fans if he was concerned about something, but in a tactful manner, never calling anyone out directly, never trying to undermine anybody else's career, just simply letting the fans know that this might not be, in fact, this won't be what you were expecting. I apologize, but he did the best that he could with what he had and tried to deliver every single time for fans. And I don't think anybody can argue for that. Now, Anna, that Star Wars girl, if you are out there and if you ever watch this, and if you, that's a lot of ifs, if you remember the conversation we had 2 years ago, I think, you were right. And that means that I was wrong. I thought that Cavill was overrated and not really a huge Cavill head over heels fan. But I think between this, his handling of it, and some of the stuff that you've shared with me and other people have shared with me, so many people have been trying to get me to be a Henry Cavill fan, like, for ages. They're like, how could you not love him? How could you, like, look at this. And I'm like, yeah, I hear you, but, and I always had my reservations. But quite frankly, the only one that could have made me a Henry Cavill fan was Henry Cavill. And I think with this, with his very tactful exit from The Witcher, and his very hopeful embrace of Superman, and genuinely directing a sincere message of gratitude to fans, Henry Cavill finally won me over to be a Henry Cavill fan. And really, he was the only one that could have done it. And yes, I'm aware that I am late to the bandwagon, and I'm in nowhere, name, shape, form, or whatever, as huge of a fan, or ever will be as huge of a fan, as so many others out there. But Henry Cavill has finally won me over. So, Anna, you were right. Take it and run. I'd love to hear your thoughts or your predictions down in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Has Cavill made the right decision? Do you think it's a mistake leaving the White Wolf and going back to DC to be Superman? What do y'all think of everything that's happened? Can't wait to hear what you have to say. God bless, Godspeed, much love, and thank you so much for watching.